Hi, I'm Clark Hilton from Capital Community Media. Join us as we take a trip around the world, right here from Salem's Riverfront Park. The Salem Multicultural Institute has been putting on the Summertime World Beat Festival for well over 2 decades, celebrating their 25th anniversary in 2022. Today, we're going to take a world tour through the villages of World Beat and get a taste of cultures we may not have experienced before. Our first stop is right here in the Americas. I have the opportunity to speak with Savannah Solis, whose grandfather was the original director of the World Beat Social Powwow. Savannah's family is performing traditional Native American dances. So I can see that there is a lot of joy in the dancing. Savannah, I know that your grandfather, Warner Austin, was the original director of the World Beat Social Powwow. You mentioned that you're in mourning right now, but you have stepped into his role after his passing. Can you share with us why it's so important that this tradition be passed down?
Yes, absolutely. So I think what's most important for us is when my grandparents have been a part of this for so long, it was important for them to know that we were carrying on traditions of expressing who we are, but also connecting to who we are, and then in turn sharing that with everybody else, creating space for us to exist in a world where we're a minority of minorities on land that we are indigenous to. It's hard to feel like you know where you fit in sometimes. From being small in our hometown Klamath Falls to coming up here in Salem and seeing all the diversity, and my grandparents just instilled that in us to continue on the traditions and sharing with as many people as possible.
For those who don't know, can you tell us what a powwow is exactly?
Yeah, absolutely. So a powwow is a gathering for our Native people, and what's unique about a powwow is that it's not one tribe specifically. It's many different tribes all coming together with all their different regalia pieces, and sometimes you can tell the tribe the person comes from based on their regalia. So it's almost like a contemporary way of us gathering, even though it's been going on for many years. It's a way for us to share together and still be one, even though we're many.
Can you share with us the regalia? It's beautiful. What do the various pieces signify? How long does it take to assemble these?
So every regalia is unique. We have our men's regalias. We have, and there's so many different layers of each regalia. We have men's traditional, men's fancy, men's grass, and then we have women's traditional, women's fancy, women's jingle. And each dance represents something different and unique. Our jingle dress is a healing dance, as well as our men's grass. So each one has a significance. I have on a regalia for a fancy dance, which is more of our newer dances. The women started dancing fast like the men did. In the beginning, they didn't do that. And so each piece, our hair ties, our cape, our tees, our plumes, everything, all of it is just a part of us, our uniqueness.
It's beautiful. Can you also tell us why the drum and the chanting is so important?
Absolutely. So we couldn't dance without the drumming. We couldn't feel that beat in our hearts without the drumming. It's an expression of who we are, and each song, again, is unique, not just to each dancer, but each tribe. So a lot of the words in the song, sometimes they just have words that are like voice inflections, but some words are actual words from our languages, and our languages are so important to us. A lot of them have been wiped away, and repeating them in the songs is another way for us to take that back.
And so how do you plan to keep these traditions thriving and alive for the next generation and beyond?
So I think that the best way to do that is sharing with our family. My mother here made sure it was so important to bring us along with our grandparents, and made sure that we were a part of something to feel good about ourselves and to connect to who we are, and that is so important. So in turn, my sister here has brought her children, and my children here are growing in being a part of the same tradition.
Would you like to introduce your family?
Absolutely. This is my sister Bridget, my daughter Aliana, my mom Stephanie, and my sister's daughter, my niece Nai.
Well, thank you so much for spending some time with us today to talk about this and for sharing.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
From the Americas to Asia Pacific, we head to Japan for Yosakoi dancing. Photographer Sharam Taghizadagon captures the blend of modern and traditional Japanese dance and music. Our photographer Sharam racks up the frequent flyer miles heading next to the Africa Village at World Beat, where Ni Ardi Alute, a drummer from Ghana, is giving a workshop. He began learning the traditional drumming and dances of Ghana at the tender age of 3 years old and was traveling and performing at the age of 5. He has performed at World Beat for many years.
Today we are doing drumming class, drum workshop, and that's what we are doing down here. Come down here to teach them how to use your hand, your technique in and out, how to position it, and that's what I'm doing down here. And also to teach them how to put the techniques together to learn rhythm, put a rhythm together. And you know, it looks like they have fun. Drum is heartbeat. Drum is a heartbeat. And also, drum doesn't make you sad. Drum make you happy. And so, you know, if you play the drum, you smile. And so, if you sad, grab a drum, play it. He heal you. It's a healer. It's a healer. And so, because once you can put a smile on your face, everything else is like, oh my God, this is great. Okay, so that's why I love the drumming, and I love to teach, and I love to share with people. My advice to people, when you see people playing drum, trying to get drum, join them and be happy with them. This is my advice for all of you guys. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Up next, we look at the art of making Pisanki, which are elaborately hand-decorated Easter eggs. I speak with Daniela Mahoney, born in Prague, Czech Republic, who was taught this craft as a child.
We are going to be showing you the batiking style of egg decorating. And what is your name? Gretchen. Gretchen is going to be carrying it around so you can see it better. And there is an example of one of those eggs. It's actually from the Czech Republic. It's authentic. And so you can...
So tell us a little bit about your grandmother. She's the one who taught you how to do egg decorating.
Correct. My mother taught me how to decorate traditional eggs when I was a small child. We decorated them at Easter time, and we would be displaying them, hanging them on willow branches that we put in a vase. My grandma was from Moravia, which is part of the Czech Republic. Czech Republic was composed of Bohemia and Moravia, and my grandma came from Moravia, and those traditions were very strong in that area of the country. Originally, I decorated eggs with the hot wax. That would be the batiking or wax-resistant method. And I focused on Ukrainian-style eggs. And then I have learned more about the eggs that were more appropriate for my homeland. So I would be making eggs with red background and a lot of complex lines. And then later, I started engraving designs on eggs. It was another method of egg decorating popular in the Czech lands, and I started with traditional designs. I eventually, over the past 40 years, I gravitated from the traditions and traditional designs to designs that would be likable by my customers. But I still enjoy decorating eggs in the traditional style, and I am teaching classes trying to preserve those traditions for the future generations. And I have traveled nationwide to Czech museums in Texas, Iowa, festivals in South Dakota. I have been in various places promoting Czech culture, and now here in Oregon, I have been working primarily with libraries and schools. I used to be an artist in education, and so I have been involved with various age groups of people of various backgrounds. You are drawing the lines with the wax on the surface of the egg, and you dip it into different colors, adding more designs in each color stage, and eventually you melt off the wax above the candle flame.
So let's talk a little bit about your background. You're originally from Prague, Czech Republic, which was under communist rule at the time. You fled to West Germany, and then you came to the United States in the early 1980s. Why was engraving the Statue of Liberty on an egg such a high point in your artistic career?
Well, I have been traveling to New York to visit my daughter who studied at that time in New York, and so the idea came about that I could come and work in the gift store and sell my eggs. And I remember that it was very complicated to get to the Statue of Liberty. I have made the arrangements ahead, and then they told me that I have to go through this security and I have to be on this boat. And it was in November, and it was somewhat stormy. And I was on this boat with my 2 large suitcases, and now all of a sudden it was sort of emotional, because I said, oh my God, a lot of people came on these boats with minimal belongings, and it was stormy and they were scared. And my grandfather's ancestors, they actually came to the United States on this one of the boats. And so that was a very unique connections to the ancestors who came a long time before me from parts of ancestors from our family. And I said, oh my goodness, they had to go through all this stress. And I was on that boat for a short time, imagining how long they had to be on the boat with limited or no food. And so, it was like reconnecting myself to my ancestry. And I enjoy that in a way, but it was very sad to think about it. And then I said, well, if I'm already here in the United States, I have to make it happen. I have to make something happen to make this journey worth a while.
Well, Daniela, thank you so much for your time today.
Wonderful. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
The final stop on our World Beat World Tour is Central America. There are many different ethnic groups within the 7 nations that make up this region of the world: Belize, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, and Panama, and a very small part of Mexico. Ethnic groups merged to form the Aztec Empire in the center of modern-day Mexico during the 14th century. The name of this dance group we're about to see uses words that are indigenous to the region. The dance represents the eternal search for cosmic harmony and integration of body and spirit. The chants of Aztec dance ritual refer to this essential process. Let's have a look and listen. And that is a view of just some of the world via World Beat at Salem's Riverfront Park. For more information, visit salemmulticultural.org. For producers Sharam Taghizadagan and Wendy Brokaw, photographer Tessa Misbach, and production assistant Jessica Scott, I'm Clark Hilton. Thanks for joining us.